My name is Lawrence Mendoza, and I am a victim of law enforcement corruption, judicial corruption, attorney misconduct, civil court corruption. This all began from events that took place from 2005 and 2006. As many of you might guess, I'm not the most popular person in Santa Barbara due to my efforts to share my experiences on my blog. My blog came about because of malicious criminal charges, which added up to 7 strikeable offenses during 2006. At one point in time, my public defender was sending me correspondence in jail stating she felt I would eventually be convicted and sentenced to 2 life sentences. Let's see here. We'll stop there. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So now we're going to, you have to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
I'll edit. Once you just keep going from here,
Okay.
just edit it. I'll make a note to edit it.
Okay. So here we are, 2012. As I just explained, these events all began in 2005, 2006. Initially, since corruption is a fixable problem, since the laws are already on the book, I thought this was going to be a simple case. My thinking was 50% of America have been divorced, so I would start with the things that were wrong with that. Found out nobody cared. Nobody likes divorce. It's ugly. I moved on to a local issue here in Santa Barbara about gangs. I thought that I would pick up some things there being Hispanic. Again, didn't get the response I got. Finally, I turned to some judicial things, and the community warmed up just a bit. And then I moved to the pension, the Santa Barbara County pension issue, and finally I got the support that I was looking for, and we've moved forward to this. Unfortunately, I've been able to show a link between judicial crime, law enforcement abuse, government abuse through the pension, and who sits on our bench. We have a two current candidates for state senate here in Santa Barbara. Michael Stoker, who was a board of supervisor from 1986 to 1992, and Hannah Beth Jackson, who has served in the state assembly already. The problem with that is I've also reported that 2 judges in the Santa Barbara Superior Court, Arthur Garcia and George Eskin, were appointed in 2003 to the bench by Governor Davis at the time. California Constitution states that they both needed to run for re-election or election to their first full term the following general election, which would be 2004. Neither of them did. The reason I mention this is because Hannah Beth Jackson's husband happens to be Judge George Erskine, who did not follow the law. So my vote for state senate happens to be someone whose husband is a judge, a Superior Court judge, who doesn't follow the law. Now, Mike Stoker, on the other hand, is running for state senate on pension reform. The only problem there is in 1986, the Santa Barbara County pension was 102% funded. It was actually one of the highest points, and it actually does work. The issue I have with Mr. Stoker today is I have documentation that shows retroactively in 1997, somebody went back and changed the pension's funding level and values back to 1986, and now show when Mr. Stoker was on the bench, on the Board of Supervisors, it's only 67% funded. So let's move forward. We got Judge Garcia and Judge Eskins who were on the bench that failed to seek re-elections. Well, we have a Judge Staffel, who is now on the bench, who happened to be a Board of Supervisors between 1992 through 1998, which is when the corruption on the pension occurred. And all he'd have to do is look at an invoice from one year to the next and notice that everything's changed. So how is it that we have judges not running with the permission of other judges? Now, in 2005, James Herman was appointed to the Superior Court bench, whose wife happens to be a Santa Barbara Superior Court judge. So now we have 2 judges, and Mr. Herman did run on the next even election as he was required with guess who? Judge Garcia from 2003 appointment. How can we have Superior Court judges allowing other judges to ignore the Constitution and arbitrarily pick when they run for re-election? Based on these facts, how can I expect anyone to care about my family court, my divorce, or my first arrest in my life? The way that this all came about, I was arrested on a 422 felony terrorist threat. The 911 call from my wife, at no time is there any mention that I've made a threat. So I come back to the scene of the crime, and they tell me they're going to arrest me. I ask for a lawyer, so I don't say anything. 2 days later, I appear for my first hearing in Santa Barbara Superior Court. It's 10:30 that morning. I'm in a plexiglass booth.